Crimechurch by Michael Botur. Jade, Chapter 4, Idle Hands. Jady's living in a cloud of happiness. Chancho's happy too. His crew of 5 and my crew of 2 managed to fit in the kitchen together. Whites and Asians united, happy as Larry. His boys don't hassle me, and me and Shawnee don't hassle them. Chancho even mentions he might have a use for me on the outside. Shawnee Porty, pudding and pie, and play Jady slattery. Best friends forever. We eat together, we play ping pong, we do beanbag wrestling. I comb his hair, I pick out the nits and crush them and show them to him smushed on my finger. Shawnee holds a cold wet cloth on my head when I get my headaches. After a few weeks, it's pretty obvious we ought to move in together. Shawnee doesn't officially get transferred into my cell, as just that there's this pussy bunking with me, and I give him a hard look and he packs up his stuff and squeezes through the door while Shawnee scratches his scalp all awkward. And for me and my new best friend, it's a non-stop party. That is, until the parole board lady tells me I'm being let out early for Christmas. And I lunge across the desk and try to destroy her. And this big bully screw puts me in a chokehold and grunts, "This is precisely why we're getting rid of you, slattery." Letting me out for Christmas leaves Jady with idle hands, and everyone knows what Beelzebub does with idle hands. Jady's idle hands burn through the grocery voucher work and income I've given us way too quick. Jady's idle hands snatch a SPCA coin box from the counter at the Mad Butcher. Jady's idle hands yank a food parcel out of the grasp of a hobo skulking in the bushes off Bromath. Jady's hands rip the head off the WWF Panda donation bin. Jady's hands score $19.50, enough for a bus and a 1.5 litre and a feed in town. I go for a walkie down Manchester Street. Behind a pair of hookers, there's a Taiwanese food place there that Chanchai told me I have to check out. Long Chim Thai, it's called. Thai people do good kai. Thai kai, la la la, Thai kai. It's not far off Christmas Day, and it's quiet, and inside Long Chim Thai, the ceiling fans murmur. I saunter into the place wondering if Chanchai has set Jady up to get jumped by bullies. Outside Long Chim Thai, it's boring old Crimechurch, but inside it's another dimension. The walls are all portraits of Asian waterfalls and buffaloes and rice paddies and farmers in hats shaped like ice cream cones, and Jady feels relaxed, bro. Relaxed like how that little Buddha fella looks. Even the oxygen's different. The fans is on and the aircon whispers down Jady's neck. Flowers and limes and lanterns of bamboo paper. Jady hasn't been this calm since Chong put me in that coma. Even when my sister walks in, and my sister's like the main cause of heart attacks in the country, even when she walks in, Jady stays still. Shayna spits out her gum, waves bye to her ride, slides her baby shell carrier into a seat, sits down and starts playing with the soy sauces. She drops a bit of a bombshell on old Jady. Turns out my beloved twin sis done some hookering work in the time I've been away, even though her tits are all funny looking now with blue veins from feeding her baby. Plenty of men have been rooting her. Chinese dudes mostly, it turns out. Chinese dudes that ran up a tab and didn't pay her. Shayna crunches prawn crackers between her teeth and splits blue and pink and yellow crumbs into the ashtray as she confesses to old Jady all her sins. I quote Romans and Deuteronomy at her, and Proverbs 23 verses 27, where it says that a harlot is like a narrow well lying in wait for people to fall in. Shaney keeps leaning under the table to have sneaky tokes on her pipe, and I'm like, Shane, oi, you're not supposed to smoke in here, naughty, naughty, naughty. Since when are you such a gook lover? She goes. Something about these people, Shane. I shake my head and my long blonde hair tickles my head. You want to watch yourself. She fesses up that she's got into a little trouble with the triads that run the fish and chip shops, some real cocky fella called Leonard Lee in particular. When she says a little trouble, it means a lot. It means she started letting Chinese fellas pay for sex with crack instead of cash, but she's gone and lost her tick book, so the accounts are all screwy. And it sort of sounds like she's been in debt. Now, she's in debt for, what, $100 of crack? A few hundred, she says. I'm gonna need to go into some fish and chip shops and, well, smash some stuff up to let these China boys know Shaney Paney has got a big brother, and if they ain't getting any money out of us. Sounds alright to Shady. I got time. I gotta meet probation in a week, but till then I can help my sis keep some bullies at bay. Hell, I might even spend a little time with my baby nephew while I'm at it. Guangzhou Chow, I don't know how you pronounce it, Guangzhou Chow European and Chinese takeaways. All I know is it does alright fish and chips. But Jady's not here for fish and chips. Place has got just one person in it, this Maori fella with a couple of papers from the TAB he's holding up to the light to read. I think the guy is that rapper Scribe for a moment, and I'm like, yes, payday, because the mongrel mob paid JD to give Scribe a hiding one time, and he's been ducking me ever since. Now, the fish and chip shop has a big old menu over the counter. It's like massive. We're talking 2 meters tall by 6 meters wide, and it's got a long glass cabinet with some pre-fried dinner and a glowing tub of fried chicken. The floor is gross lino tiles the colour of vomit. Tonight, JD is the Terminator. JD grabs the counter where he spots the hinge, and the counter opens, and JD walks through into the kitchen, unstoppable, robot styles. There's an old Chinese grandma and grandpa, and they ain't spooked. They carry on tossing cabbage under the extractor fan on their hot plate, but it's the fella ignoring the bowl of batter in front of him and yapping on his mobile phone. Yeah, that's the fella that JD's here to see. Leonard Naughty Boy Lee. JD kicks the bowl of eggy batter all over Leonard Lee. He starts scraping the muck off his eyes. Yeah, that image of that Thai fella kicking JD in the chest, it pops up into my brain. Leave people's sisters alone! Is all I think to say through the steam and hiss of boiling blubber. Oh, they made JD angry. I whap a big ladle of bubbling oil at Leonard Lee. Half of it goes on the wall. Instantly it melts the fire extinguisher instructions, and on the second spurt, JD gets the guy's fingers, his phone, his ear all in one blob of oil, and I hold up this big 20-kilo bag of flour in the air like a weightlifter while Mr. Naughty Boy Bully is clutching his skull, and I drop the flour onto his head, and that's him gone. Disappeared in a puff. Nighty-night, Bully Boy. Soon I'm back in the taxi, and Shayna's having a smoke while she feeds her baby some boob, and she asks if I got him good. Yeah, Shayna. JD got him good. Great Wall Takeaways, corner Chewham Street and Stanmore Road. It's run by this naughty little man, Canton John. Shayna says he bit her nipple one time and she had to put up with it, else he wouldn't give Shayna any crystal. JD presses Canton John's face hard against the grill and holds it there. 3 big stripes over your nose for life, bro, so people know you shouldn't have messed with Shayna. And then there's this dirty little Linwood Community Centre, corner of Worcester and England Street. That's the next place we hit. That's after I make the taxi driver stop at the Z petrol station so I can buy a pump water bottle, tip the water out, fill it up with gas. God is shining his countenance upon the Slatteries tonight, because both the boys that I want to catch up with are standing out back of the Linwood Community Centre having a smoke. Sitting ducks, bro. I find them in the alleyway and I give them a wee squirt of petrol each, hoping their smokes will light up. But it doesn't work, and they reach for their meat cleavers, but JD's prepared. I've told Faisal, the taxi driver, to get out of his seat and go home to his family, and I revved the taxi engine for ages, and the dirty China boys have almost caught up and got me with their big bad boy blades when I finally realise the handbrake is on, and I race forward and I clip one of them and he disappears under the taxi, and the other runs across the street and disappears into the darkness, and I follow the big rabbit for like 2 minutes across this massive ass soccer pitch down fences, I down cones and ropes, and finally I catch the silly boy in the middle and I drive alongside him, my wheels scraping up the grass, and I have to yell, "Oi, that was for Shayna Slattery! That thing before! Have a nice night!" And he gives up and he kneels in the grass, crying like a little sook with his hands up, and I park the taxi and I pull the keys out, and I really take my time. Really take my time stomping him. After we'd done enough corrections on the naughty boys, like jumped on their heads and stuff, I waggle my finger in my sister's face. "Shane, no more smoking for you. You need to come correct." She shifts her baby from one arm to the other. "But I need it." We go back to the motel and crawl into bed together, and we have a little root, and we argue about whether we should have used condoms, and I'm drifting off to sleep thinking about how life is kind of nice right now. It's the never land that JD always wanted. Because when I was a kid, being Peter Pan was the best life JD could imagine. No mum, no stepdad, no drum circle, no lentils and dal, nobody to put JD in the dog kennel when I got a time out. I was Peter Pan, Shayna was Wendy. We'd fly out of our motel room together, walking into the air, embracing as we hovered, even kissing a little. Tonsil hockey. Shayna, man. There's no kissing her right now. She keeps lurching and twisting in her bed. Wendy's got ants in her pants. She needs her meds. "Should have bought a little something," she's going, getting out of bed and pacing the room, scratching her scalp and shoulders and stomach. "What if I can't get my smoke, JD?" That's my Shayna, man. She makes dumb decisions, and still I got to defend her to the death. And I wish I could get away from her, you know. My Siamese twin. Shayna, Siamese. Do you know Siamese means Thailandese? Because I've been finding out tons about Thailand on the internet. And I think when Chong and their bullies dropped the computer on my head, it pressed the word Thailand into JD's brain.